How you going, bros? My name's Egg Fried Reese, and we're back on another free-to-play game. I'm not sure if this is a scary game. This game contains some dark themes which some people may find disturbing, such as death and suicide. It could be a gory game. This is a game where you raise a child, I believe. If you do not feel comfortable with these themes, I highly recommend not play.
Birth and death are funny things. People end, they stop, they die. I'm not sure how to put it more bluntly. But the echoes of their life lives on without them, in the memories of the people they meet. A little snapshot of their existence contained within another's brain. And then the way we change people. Our parents help define who we are, our teachers, our friends. Without them, we wouldn't be who we are. And even when they're gone, we still have that part of them in us. And then we change the people we meet. And so on and so forth. The echoes of life live on. Even if the one that it started with is long gone. You even can get quite clear glimpses of people that have died possibly hundreds or even thousands of years ago in the text they've written. I mean, it's kind of shocking that you can read a book of some poor soul that died forever ago, but their words are still there, clear as day. It's quite the sight. Oh my. Today, something new will be born. It's your, well, beautiful baby Bonnie. I hope you take good care of her.
I wasn't sure if I had to be clicking. Yeah, I should have been clicking. Alright, I'll make sure to do that from now on.
You bring Bonnie home swaddled in soft blankets. You set her delicately down in her crib. She quietly begins to cry. Oh shit! Baby crying! What do you do?
Give her a action figure.
Give her a soft toy. Check her nappy. Give her. You plonk down next to her a little plush bunny rabbit. She seems mildly entranced by it. For a second it seems like true love at first sight. But then she proceeds to insert the bunny's face directly into her mouth. For a second you think about taking it away, but she's utterly content. Just chewing on that poor rabbit's face. Hey, if it works, it works. The next few years are comprised mostly of crying and pooping, and considering that I'm not a sadist, I'm not going to subject you to that. So I hope you don't mind, but there may be an itty-bitty time skip. It's a wonderful spring day. The sun feels warm on your skin. There's a soothing breeze carrying the smells of flowers and newly blooming life. It's a perfect day to go on a walk with your little Bonnie. As you peacefully stroll along, a little white rabbit jumps out in front of you. Bonnie is simply overjoyed and reaches out towards it. But the next second, there's a sickening screech, and the rabbit is now airborne, being held in fierce talons, piercing through its flesh, staining its white fur so very, very, very red. As the hawk swoops off into the distance, Bonnie looks up at you, tears in her eyes. What do you do?
This game has multiple endings. So yeah, it's just basically choosing the right things.
You hear the sound of a faint whimper in the background, but you still walk on.
Survival of the fittest, motherfuckers! Get that fluffy bastard!
Please don't cry. I know it's sad, but hawks have to eat. Nature can be twisted. For predators, it's either eat adorable fluffy animals or, well, starve to death. It might seem cold-hearted, but it's how the world works. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
I'm not sure how old she is, but I know she's not an infant anymore. So
Bonnie cries a lot. A lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. When dinner time comes, she refuses to eat any meat on her plate. She vows to never consume the flesh of an innocent creature again. It probably didn't help that you were serving rabbit for dinner. But
Oh, God.
the next morning, you cooked some bacon, and as you can imagine, her stint with vegetarianism didn't last as long as hoped for. You see Bonnibel looking up at you, beaming. Her face and hands a rainbow smudge of chalky marks. In her hand, she tightly clutches a scrunched piece of paper. She raises it up in triumph. It appears to be an incomprehensible mess of scribbles. A mess of overlapping chalky colours. You assume it's a deep, postmodern representation of the human soul. But Bonnibel informs you that it is a dinosaur.
Yeah. Doesn't look like a dinosaur.
Back away in terror, letting out an ear-piercing scream.
Very postmodern. I see you've clearly taken inspiration from the school of Dadaism. Oh, your brushstrokes are reminiscent of Van Gogh's. Well, technically it's chalk, but someone as truly inspired as you doesn't need to be held back by such tawdry conventions. How dare you waste my precious child's time with such inane tasks? Playing with chalk on paper? They should be learning useful things like algebra and quantum mechanics, stuff you can really use on a day-to-day basis. Not this damn hippie shit. Back away in terror, giggles with glee at your reaction and proceeds to chase you around the building with a terrifying picture of the monstrous beast in tow. You play your part of the terrified prey with great enthusiasm. Probably too much enthusiasm, considering you jumped out of a second-story window of the building you're in to escape it.
Oh dear.
You are a true actor, and actors are willing to suffer for their art, but sadly the ambulance crew didn't agree with your reasonable explanation on why you just jumped through the flipping second-story window and nearly broke your spine in half. Dad, are slugs jealous of snails? It's just snails have those little houses on top of their backs, and slugs don't. It's just unfair. They don't have a place to hide and curl up in, or a nice place to sleep when it's cold outside. It just doesn't seem very nice. Well, during the Great Snail vs. Slug War of 1890, the snail Sir Leopold of Estonia wrested the crown from the ruling snail, King Jeremy the Gooey of the Back Garden, and in his victory he declared that no slug shall ever wear a shell again to remind them of their shameful defeat. Considering the evolutionary viability of both of them, I don't think either of them are better off. I mean, slugs and snails.
1 minute.
Considering the evolutionary viability of both of them, I don't think either of them are better off. I mean, slugs and snails have been around for thousands and thousands of years, and if one was superior to the other, they would have outcompeted one another years and years ago. But they're still around, so presumably they're at an evolutionary match, a tie as it were. So yeah, they're probably equal. Otherwise, one of them would totally be dead and not here. Admit.
The music's a bit too loud. I can't really hear. What you say.
Snails? Really, Bonnibel? Snails? I'd expect someone with as much potential as you to be pondering the works of Aristotle and Plato. Such banal things as snails are far, far beneath you, darling. And you should treat them as such. Now, let's go read some Ulysses. Well, during the few weeks later, you find Bonnie in your back garden with rows and rows of slugs and snails in front of her. She appears to be wearing a tiny, 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 tiny crown. You attempt to ask what's going on, but all the reply you get is a brief scream of, "I am the queen now!" To this day, you still have no idea where she got that little crown. I like slugs. I like slugs too.
What's next?
I like slugs too. I like slugs too.
You and Bonnibel have had a long day wandering around the great outdoors, peeping at wildlife. As you sleepily wander home, the sun already setting, the sky at dark blue, the last traces of light saying goodbye to the world. From the shadows, you hear a sickening crunch. Oh God, God, no. No, I didn't mean to. Out of the darkness, you see a poor, crushed little snail under Bonnibel's foot. Bonnie, I know it's bad now, but we can learn from our mistakes. Next time we go out, we can bring a flashlight, so if it gets dark, we can shine it on the ground, and no snail will have to be trodden again, because we'll see them before we step.
You going to hell, you snail murderer! You monster!
Bonnie, we are higher life forms. There's no shame in crushing those who are weaker under your feet. Bonnie doesn't seem to want to reply. It is the dead of night, and you hear a door slowly creak open. There's a small, scared voice. There's a monster under my bed. Give Bonnie a gun and say, you'll be safe with this. If you see a monster, just shoot it. Bonnie, monsters aren't scary. What is scary is the unknown. It's the darkness, it's not being able to see. So, tomorrow I'll get you a book of monsters. So then you will know, and it will be no longer unknown, therefore no more fear. Science. Don't worry, I'm sure there is not a monster under your bed. Look, just to make sure, I'll go check there for myself. I promise there's nothing. We wake up after a peaceful night's rest. There was nothing under Bonnie's bed. Why would there be? The air is cold, the sky is dark, spooks and monsters abound, creeping through every shadow, with one thought burning in their minds. Holy shit, we're gonna eat a ton of sweets! Bonnie's face is pressed up against our living room window, looking out at the majesty of Halloween. Spooks, ghouls, and ghosties abound, and princesses. For some unexplicable reason, princesses. I don't know why, they don't fit with the theme. Don't make sense. Why? But that's aside the point. And on this fateful day, you have the chance to choose what particular spook, ghosty, or ghoul your little Bonnibel will dress up as. A zombie, because all you need is pale green skin and moaning noises, and judging from the amount of candy Bonnie's gonna consume, that's gonna happen anyway. A priest to show all those pagan sinners the true light. Note, make sure to tell Bonnie to yell at all the other kids, "Begone, foul spirit! The power of Christ compels you!" Oh, you've made her a little cross. A zombie. Bonnie most definitely enjoyed being a zombie. She spent the previous days trying to perfect the perfect drone and shuffly zombie walk. On the day, she went out and asked one of the neighbours for brains, and they came back with a massive bowl of walnuts and said they were shriveled little brains, like if a normal brain was a grape and these were raisins. The bulletproof logic of this most certainly convinced Bonnie. Funnily enough, she didn't actually get sick and green from eating too much candy. In Bonnie's words, zombies eat brains, zombie do not eat candy. It's a lovely autumn day. Orange leaves gently drift along in the cold breeze. Once again, you're going for a walk with Bonnie. It feels peaceful. You feel quite content, numb to the world. Bonnie is happily skipping beside you. You can't even feel the cold breeze on your face. Everything's fine. Wait, you can't feel the cold breeze on your face. It's like November, you should probably be able to feel that. Your arm doesn't seem to move. You realise that the soothing sensation of numbness, it felt quite calming at first. But now you can't feel your body. All the sensations you've lived your whole life with. The feeling of air rushing in and out your lungs. Your heartbeat. Your clothes on your skin. They were so omnipresent. It just faded into the background. You forgot about them, but Now it's gone. Its absence makes you feel so empty. You begin to slowly topple backwards. For a second you worry you'll hurt yourself when you hit the ground, but you remember at this point your body seems not to be capable of feeling anything, let alone pain. You look up at the sky, your vision beginning to fuzz. There's a face, someone above you, someone you really should remember. Their mouth is moving as if they're yelling, shouting, calling at, but you can't seem to hear anything. You attempt to speak, to try and soothe that distressed soul. You try to speak, but somehow you can't manage to get the words out. You desperately try, repeating it over and over in your head, but in the end, there's only silence. The last experience you'll ever have is that single thought. At least I got to spend my final moments with you. It's funny, I thought it would hurt. I'm sorry. I'm going to miss your 7th birthday. I wanted to get you a dog. At least I got to spend my final moments with you. I'm sorry. At least.
When all hope is lost, when reality is unbearable, look away from the world and you will discover a new, tightly embraced in my arms.
You hear a faint cry off in the distance, but suddenly the cries are not so distant. A wave of noise hits you, cackling, hooting, screaming. You can't tell whether the makers of the sound are going through the most sensual joy or the worst pain you could imagine. You open your eyes, the noise suddenly stops. You see strange figures in front of you, small, carrying a mixture of hope and fear on their twisted faces. One slowly creeps towards you, and it appears to attempt to bow, even though its body seems rather unsuited to the position. It splutters out. Please, please, save us. The world is big and scary, but now you're here. Everything will be okay. You can protect us from the monsters at night and feed us when we're hungry. Teach us what's the difference between right and wrong. Please, we beg you. The one who fell from the stars. Help us. Help us.
What did you little shits do? Did you bring me here? You brought me here. Why did you bring me here? What the fuck do you want to do with me? What are you little freaks planning?
They appear to have set up some sort of feast to celebrate the coming of their new saviour. They seem to be happily chirping to each other in some sort of strange alien song, passing small cups of dirty water around, as if they were wine, and happily munching on something that can be charitably described as very, very stale bread. For a second they all freeze.
Meat, the manliest meals. Pizza!
Any food is good food, but I like food. Give me food.
No meat. Vegetarianism for life. If you don't go green, it means you're mean. If you eat meat, you're a deadbeat. Woo.
Any food is good food, but I like food. Give me food.
Pizza! Pizza!
Any food is good.
You do not care where it comes from. Whether it be a chicken in the cruelest factory farms, or chocolate made from cocoa beans from the poorest of cocoa bean farmers, barely paid enough to feed himself for his starving family.
Guessing I died.
You could not give a shit, as long as you're well fed. Morals are nice and all, but eating chocolate is nicer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I died.
On top of the ground. Underground. Underground. On top of the ground.
Treehouse. Treehouse. Treehouse.
Ah, trees. They sound greatly amusing. Especially, consider how much these little guys are going to fall out of them trying to construct houses on top. Not to mention the potential for fire hazard risks. If you're going to be sticking around, you've got to make sure you have a good show to watch, and this looks like one of them. Suddenly, your little world becomes very, very still. The details begin to blur and fuzz over. There's a mind-breakingly loud noise, like shattering glass, but replicated 1,000 times over. Everything's dark. Everything's pitch black. You can't see. Your little monster friends are running around in blind panic, with as little on earth of a clue as what's happening as you currently have. What the fuck do you think you're doing? Seemingly manifesting random godly powers. I must admit, it's pretty neat. I mean, I can make people happy with them. And it makes me happy. And if it makes me happy, why question it? And if I question it, it might make me unhappy. And I really don't want that.
Wait a second! Did I appear in a flash of lightning? What the hell is wrong with my hands? If you gave me dark eyeliner, by God, I'm slapping the hell out of us when we wake up! The evil apparition stares at you with fierce intensity. Oh fuck no! The narrator did not just call me evil looking! I am not the bad guy here! What are these meant to be? You're too old to be playing with dolls! What the fuck do you think you're doing? The monster looks down with sheer disgust at the little creatures scurrying around in a blind panic at its feet. This is not how we're meant to deal with this situation! It stamps down hard like an exterminator on a particularly annoying cockroach. One of the tiny being's bodies explodes beneath the weight of its foot. Its splattered remains begin to ooze gently across the floor. The helpless little creatures begin to cry and shriek, "Please stop it!" Before the despicable monster can say another word, you raise your hand. Shoot it with your super cool laser powers. Convince it to atone for its evil ways. Ignore it. Convince it to shoot it with your super cool laser powers. Your radiant beauty is so overwhelming that you begin to produce radiant rays of light. Your little creatures begin to cheer. Hooray! You banished the monster. Oh my god, I know you were awesome before, but you're so awesome, I can't describe it. So I'll just make random noises and hope it does it justice. You saved us from the monsters, from the bad place. The bad place is a place from the monsters came, which is bad, so if the monsters came from it, the monsters would be bad. Well, if it came from the bad place, it being bad goes without saying, because bad stuff comes from the bad place, which is bad. 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 It's bad. 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 It's just very, 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 very not nice. We're so terribly scared. Most things will crawl out of there. They ruin everything. Please, make them go quiet. Such a divine thing as you could surely stop such terrible things from happening. You could stop anything bad from happening. Play me? No, can't make me. No, why me? Why? No, please stop. Go to bad place. So you decide to go. No, I don't. So you decide to go. No, I do not. So you decide to go. No, I. And now you're there. All your charming little creatures are gone. All your creations. From their homes, to the bountiful food you gave them. There's none of it. There's nothing. You can't keep me out forever. You can't keep us out. This is not a fairy tale. This is not a game you can win. world happens around you. And no matter how much you cry or pretend, tears won't change it. They're gone. They'll be gone forever. It's just life. In life, there's no saving point. There are no second chances. In the end, it will always be a game over. Why won't you let it end? Everything you feel now, the loss, the pain, the sadness, is everything they will feel. You're supposed to love your child, care about them, but you're cursing them from the very start to feel everything, good and bad. But there is an escape. There isn't a release from this endless cycle. Don't you dare pass on your defective genes. How can there be tears when there's no one left to cry? As a great man once said, life is pain. Oh, shut the fuck up, you pretentious piece of shit. Keep your shitty goth poetry to yourself. Hey, look on the bright side. At least my child won't have to deal with your depressing as fuck offspring. Suddenly, you're back. Your little monster friends surround you, celebrating. You did it. You actually did it. You're amazing. You destroyed the Heart of Darkness and you came out the other side. It's okay now. You're safe. Nothing can stop you or hold you back. We can be here forever. You can be whatever you want to be. A king, a queen, a god. As long as you're here, you can do anything. You can take care of us. Teach us new things. Comfort us when we have nightmares. Give us silly costumes to wear. As long as you're here, you're safe.
I don't know why it doesn't let me actually see these words here. Only if I hover over them. I don't know if I should stay or leave. If I stay, does that mean I'll stay dead? Or stay in a coma? Or if I leave, does that mean I'll wake up?
The world begins to dissolve around you, like paint starting to run in the rain. You don't know if you chose the right thing. Alice had to leave Wonderland. Sometimes a fantasy can be the only thing keeping a fragile soul alive. But if you stay there forever, you can never truly live. The world melts away. You awake to a blinding light. I'm not sure if you're quite ready for reality. It's all good to love yourself and be content with who you are, but when you love yourself quite this much, it can become very toxic. Your own pride and passion drive many friends away, and it ends up biting you in the ass more than a few times. But your sheer conviction and determination, your demand to the universe that I will be something, manages to pay off. You become a rap artist, so you can talk about how awesome you are as much as you want without anyone blinking an eye. You're honestly quite the natural talent at it. You're awarded with a Grammy, proclaiming that you're an adult and you don't need handouts, followed by an incident where you get tased by Ryan Reynolds and Elijah Wood. Thankfully, you managed to get away with it, saying it's just an elaborate piece of performance art dedicated to the band Lonely Island. But it wasn't. This is not the last time you'll be tased. After a turbulent life, you sit alone in your house, staring into the middle distance. You made many mistakes, and in hindsight, you are not exactly a perfect human being. But you tried to live your life to the fullest, and at least that's something you do not regret.
The zombie is dead. Well, that was BU2. If you like this video and you want to see me do different endings, let me know in the comments below and I'll make sure to do that. Like I said in the ending of the previous games, if you have any other games you want to suggest for me to try out, then leave them down in the comments below too and I'll check them out. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye!